Curious about the digital world? Want to know how to stay safe online? Tune in to CyberSense, where we explore the latest tech trends and cybersecurity tips.
Hey everyone, welcome to CyberSense Season 2! Hey! I'm your host, Rob Holloway. Joined with me is a new co-host, Mike Maher. Hey, Mike!
Oh my God, get my name right. It's Mar.
Maher, Jesus. Maher. Yeah, that's
No,
the Kiwi.
Mar. Like the planet. Big and red.
I have known Mike for years, and I struggle with his surname. Look, it's like I've known him for nearly a decade.
Let's be honest, with most things.
What was that? Sorry, say it again.
Let me get my crayons and I'll write it slowly.
Anyway, look, everyone, thank you very much for joining us again. Really sorry it's been so long. It's been months and months and months and months. It's been very quiet, and there's just been nothing happening in the tech world, right? No. I've just been lazy, but hey, we've got this new format now. Mike is going to explain in a moment his new segment, but we are going to be with you every fortnight now, not weekly, every fortnight, and we're going to do it forever. So, Mike, you want to launch into what your segment's going to be about, bud?
Yeah, I've decided to call mine M-Cubed. It's Mike's Malicious Minute. I'm going to touch on any kind of news that's come up that's either, very impactful, like one that I'll be covering today, or, something interesting, something that I think is quite novel, like a casino being hacked through its aquarium thermometer, something like that.
I like that. Very Ocean's 11.
I'm not going to go as deep into it as Rob would. It's just going to be nice and quick. And if you want to find out more, let me Google that for you.
Yeah, perfect. We've also got a new web address, which is cybersense.cloud. Woo! So that's quite cool. So we're going to set up an email address for that, which is going to be info@cybersense.cloud. You can also hit us on the old one, which is cybersenseradio.com. That still exists. Don't worry. We are redirecting. Yeah, because we have the power. I also, first off, before we jump into this, I want to apologize for my crappy background. I'm really, really sorry. I've moved my office around and everything like that, and it doesn't work. So I threw up a quick background. I'm going to get a screen. Don't worry. You won't have this horrible thing where it's cutting off half of my head or anything like that in this lovely purple. I mean, hey, thanks Riverside. It's pretty cool. It is awesome technology, by the way. We are recording this on Riverside. They are not sponsors, not even close. We are paying for this. So, hey, Riverside, if you are listening and want to sponsor us, give it to us for free. Yeah, please. But anyway, all right. Straight into it. So what has been happening in the world of tech? Oh my gosh, it is a lot, an awful lot. In Ireland here, there was a new thing that came out a few months back, a lovely, lovely law change. This is what I want to jump into. This has been touched on by many, many, many other tech people because, hey, it's been months. But they changed a law where they can snoop now. They're allowed to infect a device with their own spyware, right? So that's cool. Sure. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, let's go with that.
Now, that's legit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, Yeah. Okay, we're just going to create spyware. Now, look, the challenges they've got here is like any spyware. It gets detected and then it gets stamped out because even though there's laws in place they're chasing criminals, right? Let's be honest. They're not just doing it to snoop on everyone. They're after criminals. You do have to have a warrant. They have to have just cause to do it. It's not that they can just go, hey, I want to see what Bob's doing down the road there. Let's infect this machine. No, they are doing it for chasing criminals because with encryption and stuff, it's really, really hard, right? Which is the purpose of encryption. So they've changed this law where they can infect devices with their own version of malware to snoop on them and get what they want. Yeah, but great thing is the vendors out there like Apple, Microsoft, all this sort of stuff, and they ain't on board with this. So if they catch the spyware, what are they going to do? They're going to shut it down. So as soon as they see it, they're going to patch it. Not going to happen anymore. So this is going to be a bit of a cat and mouse whack-a-mole type game for a while with these with the government. And my theory is they're going to turn around and say, do you know what, it's too hard, too expensive. Let's just have it where you have to have our app on your devices in order to be online in our country, like they do in China, Russia, and a few other countries. So slippery slope, a little scary, but it is what it is, I guess. I mean, if you don't like it, the best way to deal with that is to use your voting powers, right? Because we are in a democracy, thankfully, so we can deal with that. It is like the change in the social media ban in Australia. Other countries are picking up on that and rolling with it. Is starting to get pushback. I personally I'm kind of pro the social media ban for the under 16s because I constantly see people on their phones nonstop. It's kind of crazy. I'm addicted to my phone. I'm sure you are, Mike, as well.
I wouldn't call it an addiction. I can stop anytime I want. I just don't want to.
Yeah, sure.
All
Yeah.
my friends live on my phone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it talks to you, it makes you feel happy, right? Just like AI. Um, so look, I don't know. Let's not go down this awful rabbit hole of should they, shouldn't they. The fact is they have. You need to be aware of it. That is kind of scary. They can also do mass surveillance in crowds now if they're after a single target. By mass surveillance, what I mean by that is they deploy a little device which captures all of the devices connecting. So your phone data or everything like that. Now, obviously, it's encrypted, but they still know where you are. They have that data. And are they securing it? Are they storing it properly? They say they are, and of course, I'm assuming they are. But all it takes is one bad actor, one hack, like the NHS or the HSC. Sorry, not the NHS, the HSC hack a while back, and all that data is exposed. Right. So this is a worry. If they're doing it properly and correctly, and they are doing it not just because they think it's going to be funny. If they are doing it sparingly, fine. But yeah, and I mean, I guess the age-old question: if you don't think the government's not listening, then you're a bit naive. It's just now they can use it in court.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so Mike, let's jump into your first topic. So we're going to break this up into little segments, people. So there's a bit of a difference, a bit of back and forward. As we get it right, bear with us, please, for all our 5 listeners and our mums out there.
But you repeat yourself, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Mike, jump into it. What's your first topic, bud? Go, go, go.
Okay. This is nice and timely because it's happening now as opposed to this being pre-recorded 6 weeks ago. So, the attack on Stryker. This is kind of a good topic because it does affect a lot of people. In Ireland as well, there's quite a significant presence. So basically, what happened? Basically, no, they have been linked to Iran. It's a group called the Handala attack. They call themselves a Palestinian kind of liberator force, but they have been linked to the Iranian secret intelligence.
Oh, okay. So those guys there's a pretty serious hackers. They're like the North Koreans and all sort of stuff. These guys they're not messing around.
Know what they're about.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah, they've been around since at least 2023. What did they do? So at the moment it's being called a wiper attack. A wiper attack. So a lot of people already know what a ransomware is. Someone gets on, they encrypt all your system.
Give me money or I burn it all. Yeah. And they burn it anyway.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. There was one of those. If people cast their minds back, not Pethia. That was done. Oh God, when was that? That was I think that it doesn't matter. Anyway, that was done, and it styled itself as a ransomware attack, but it was also a wiper attack. There was no way to recover the data when they looked at the code. You couldn't tie the infection back to any specific key. So it was masquerading as malware, but it was actually just.
So I mean, that would take quite a bit of time, wouldn't it, to wipe the stuff? Because obviously it's got to override all the zeros and stuff. So when data is stored, it is stored in zeros and ones, binary, right? And to completely override it, you need to reset those over and over and over and over and over again, effectively to wipe every mess.
Yeah, you do, yeah. Now it depends on how it's done, and the level they were going for. Like mass disruption is one thing, but the one thing I would say is that even though they're saying it's only a wiper attack, the Iranians did say that they had exfiltrated 50 terabytes.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So they possibly have data that they will start blackmailing with. So
let's take a step back. What is Stryker for our listeners who don't know what Stryker is?
Stryker is mainly a medical device corporation. So they will make the likes of hip implants, knee joints, things like that. I'm not going to get into the
no, you don't.
why they might have been picked, but basically, the the attackers have said that this is in retaliation for the current strikes on Iran.
Yeah, I mean that brings a really good segue into this. I'm not going to interrupt you too much more, I promise. But a really good segue is, at currently there is the strikes hitting Iran, and that sort of stuff. Now, Iran has been known to have this elite hacking group. So you as an individual out there, you need to be more vigilant at the moment, because they're going to hit back, and they're going to hit back any way they can. Their aim now is to make our lives horrible and a misery like they're going through, right? I'm not going into the politics of it. I don't want to touch that. This is completely neutral in that sense. But I am saying for you as a listener, be wary, because their aim now is to highlight, hey, we are going to hit back, right? We're going to make your life a misery. So they want you to complain. They want to have these things out there so that people scream, right? So now is the time to be really, really vigilant. Don't click those links. Be really suspicious. Don't worry if people think you're paranoid. It's a good thing. Anyway, sorry, Mike. Go back. Sorry.
No, that's fine. No, that's a really good point. And be just as vigilant at home as you would be in work, because there have been attacks that have started on someone's home computer, and then someone logs into work from their home machine. So just
Hacker Bob outlined that one.
yeah, so treat everything carefully. What did they do? They wiped quite a lot of devices. Now, again, if people are not releasing a huge amount of information, there's been a few Reddit threads out there, but it appears to have wiped servers, desktops, and a lot of phones. So if you have if you've got work information on a personal phone, you just need to be aware that there is a chance it could get wiped by your company security policies. So
That's your entire phone, not just the company data, people. So
yeah.
this is they can wipe your entire phone. So yeah.
Now, I don't want people to panic and start taking off the like of Microsoft Authenticator. That doesn't include a wipe. But if you have, say, Teams or email, you just need to be careful and make sure you have a good backup of your own data, because once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good shout. Well, that's scary. And how did they get in? Or do they not know yet?
If they know, they haven't released it yet. A lot of the threads are being sort of locked down to stop people speculating.
Yeah. Bet you it was a link. I guarantee it was a link. It's very rarely a 0 day. Well, I'm going to jump into mine, and mine is less less malicious and more creepy. So I wanted to talk about robot vacuums. Now, why do I want to talk about robot vacuums? It's because I'm lazy.
Look.
No, I am straight up lazy. I vacuum the house, obviously, like everyone does, do the house cleaning and all that sort of jazz. And I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if a robot could do this for me? And of course, robot vacuums have been around for a long time, right? People love them. They're awesome. They're great. They're like George Jetson. I want my robots in my house cleaning everything up. Why not? Because that gives me more time to spend on my phone or gaming or whatever, or just being lazy and watching telly, right? So, while this vacuum is just doing all the work. Well, okay, so they're super cool. Everyone's got them. And I was like, okay, maybe it's time, right? So what I did is I did what every cybersecurity person does. I don't just run out and go all shiny and buy. Well, I hope other cybersecurity people don't. I started researching them, because I was like, well, okay, what's the best one to get for my dollar? And what's it going to do? What are all the bells and whistles? And then I obviously was like, how does it work? Because this is still an IoT, right? So I was like getting excited, thinking, you see those clips out of cats riding them. I have a cat. I was like, that'd be so cool if he rides it like a mechanical horse or something like that. But I dug deeper, and guess what? They've got cameras. Of course they do, right? How do they map the room? They don't just use LiDAR. They have cameras. And I was like, well, that's a little creepy. Cameras just going around my house. What if I want to, dance around the house naked? it happens.
But
Some
certainly
developer
hope it doesn't.
some developer would get that, right? So anyway, in 2020, now this is going back a while, but this is a perfect example, okay? iRobot's Roomba. Now, everyone knows Roomba. Roomba's a big, big name. It's huge. Everyone loves Roomba. Roomba's cool, right? Well, it was taking photos of people on the toilet and sending it back to developers. Yay! Not creepy that the robot was doing that, but here's what gets even creepier. This, of course, got leaked.
Of course it did.
Yeah,
But
and
but in fairness, that's what you deserve for having carpet in your toilet.
well, I mean, these things don't just vacuum carpet, bro. They do hardwood and everything, vinyl. So it could have just been in there getting that liner, or maybe they just had a thing for robots watching them go to the toilet. Whatever it was in there, and it was filming it, and it was sending back to developers. Now, okay, this is creepy, and it does creep us out that this stuff's out there. But this is really, really important. This device here and this incident in 2020, these devices were development devices. So the subjects were told that the images were going to be sent back to developers and all that sort of stuff. So no harm, no foul, right? It's like, hey, we told you this was going to happen. And it's like, yeah, but I'm on my toilet. It's like, well, don't let it in. Right. Okay. So
You should have read the 5,000-page terms and conditions.
well, these were test devices that were given, and they had stickers on them saying we are recording and stuff like that. So they did know, right? But this is not the only incident. This is in 2020. This is huge. This is out there. This was known, and developers were looking at it, laughing and sharing this stuff. But today, in order for these devices to work, they still do that. Okay, so I started looking into this, and I was like, okay, well, what if I isolate this thing on their network so it doesn't have internet access, right? So it's like, cool, you take all your photos you want, bro, but it's stuck on you. No, they break. If you do that, majority of them don't work. The good ones, anyway, the ones that actually do the stuff you want, where it's not going to hunt your dog or your cat, I'm going to kill you. It's like, no. If you want one that actively identifies things in your house and adapts to movement and stuff, it's got to send it back. It has to have an internet connection. You break that, you break the thing. It goes, no, I'm not playing with you. I'm going to sit in my little cradle and heck you, I hate you. It's like, okay. So
is this a bit like the Amazon, powered by AI grocery store where the AI is actually
humans?
humans?
Absolutely. So not entirely, obviously not. It is still AI, right? But why do they need to send it back? So many reputable companies, I've got this written down. So here, bear with me, okay? They use AI learning, okay? So they do have AI learning out there to go, oh, look, they've moved their TV around. The AI picks that up. Now, the devices are small, and to keep them cheap, they don't have massive processors on them, right? So they rely on cloud AI to do that. But who catches those models and trains them when they don't identify? If the AI can't identify it, it gets flagged to a human developer. And the human goes, yeah, that's a TV. Yeah, that's a sock. Yeah, that's someone having sex on the couch. It's like, that is exactly what is happening. And as I said, reputable companies, they will have some protection around this. They will have rules and all sort of stuff, but they're still getting this data. And all it takes is one bad apple, and poof, your sex escapades on your couch are out on the internet.
Yeah. And leaving it on an unsecured bucket on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. So this happens all the time. This is hacks into these devices. They're IoT devices, of course. So they get hacked. There's incidents of them where you mentioned, as we were talking about this before we started before we started recording, there were thousands and thousands of devices hacked by this hacker and all this sort of stuff. But they're also, hackers are using the ones that have just LiDAR. Right, so LiDAR is radar system, okay, where it sends out radar. These are the older, cheaper ones that don't have camera. They're not as effective at maneuvering and avoiding your pets and watching out for your lost sock. It just does a map at one point and then identifies at point A to point B, right? So they're not as smart. And a lot of the newer ones just have cameras as well. They're getting, hey, we all want this. But anyway, even this LiDAR, they got hacked and they turned the LiDAR into a freaking microphone. So it's like, I mean, come on, that's pretty impressive. I've got to give them that. But they had an active microphone, so they were listening to everything that was going on. It's like, okay. So what are the key privacy risks and considerations? Camera video leaks. Models with cameras can capture, store, or share images of your home, which, if not properly secured, can be accessed by unauthorized users. That's a polite way of saying, yeah, if the company is stupid, it's going to get leaked. Right? And these companies, they care so much about our data, right?
Yeah.
Then you got data.
Definitely not when it did.
Yeah. Or they're selling this stuff. I mean, they're making their money, right? They're gonna double down and spend wherever they can. Then you got data vulnerability. So hackers can potentially access the live camera feeds, microphones, floor plans. Yeah, I mean, as you pointed out, thousands of devices, and as I said, the LiDAR, these are IoT devices, and Hacker Bob loves IoT devices. We all love IoT devices for multiple reasons because people forget to patch them. And the cheaper device, the less likely it's going to be supported, right? Let's be honest. Or if it is supported and really cheap, what are they doing with your data? How are they making their money? They're making their money somehow. And if it ain't from the device, it's from you. They like you dancing. Yes, dance some more. Dance some more.
You are the
Yeah.
product. You are the product. Stand there on the shelf.
Yeah, you're Roomba OnlyFans, right? So then you got audio spy, you got third-party data sharing, which is exactly what I'm saying. Companies might share or sell your data to collect it through the devices. And look, okay, some of them do allow you to delete your personal information. They totally do. Okay, so these are the reputable companies. You can go in there and do it, but you have to do it. And if you opt out of a lot of these features, things don't work. Like you can go, hey, no, I don't want you to collect my personal data. And they go, cool. Well, good luck of finding that lost sock inside the Roomba or whatever it is, because they will just disable a bunch of features. It's like, well, if you're not going to play with us, we're not going to play with you. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. So how can you protect your privacy on this one? Okay, so you've got to choose reputable brands. Okay, so opt for companies with strict, transparent privacy policies. Doesn't mean they're going to do the right thing, but it means at least you know what they're doing. Disable unnecessary features. Turn off the cameras or cloud connectivity if you can. But in my research, I found a majority of the ones on the market that weren't thousands. You do that, you break it. It's like suddenly it becomes a dumbass vacuum walking around going, I'm going to eat everything and keep banging into the wall. Or it turns malicious and goes after your cat. I kill you. That sort of stuff. Secure your network. So yeah, you can use unique passwords. You can isolate it. So that's one thing you can do, right? So you could have it isolated onto a network that's not going to hop into yours. But again, it's still inside your house recording stuff. So that's just creepy. And use non-camera models. So consider vacuums that use basic LiDAR or infrared sensors instead of cameras. Again, as I said, they're not as smart. They're not as good. So what's the point? You might as well
to be available if everyone starts moving towards them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the other thing. So this brings in a bit of a segue into how these things are evolving, right? So everyone loves the Ring doorbell, right? Everyone has a lot of those. They're cheap, they're effective. People love them because I don't want to walk downstairs to find out who's at the door selling me, cookies or the DHL man. No, I'm just going to be lazy and not walk the down the stairs. I'm going to do it from my computer. I'd be like, no, go away. Cool, right? Cheap, awesome. Why is it cheap? What did I say just a minute ago? That data ain't yours. So Ring Doorbell have released this thing called Search Party. Okay, sounds fun. It's a party. It's a party. So that finds your lost pets, and it allows AI to scan through neighboring camera footage to find your pet. Yeah, I mean that's cool, right?
It's definitely only your pet.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm trying not to go political and mention the sort of parties that they used to have in America.
Yeah, let's not. But what we can do here is let's look at this for a second. Okay, so look at it from their point of view, from you, right? You lose your dog, and you can do this, by the way, as a user. You can do this. You can kick it in, going, hey, I've lost my pet. Put it into search party mode, please, and it goes out. And it goes into your neighborhood, and all of your neighbors that have Ring doorbells, it accesses all of their footage.
Mm-hmm.
And then AI runs through it going, well, here's your doggy. I saw it go past here, and go past here, and go past here, and go past here, and see these people shagging in the bushes. And I saw that person who was creeping on them, shagging in the bushes over there, and all this sort of stuff. Oh, this burglar over there, and this cop over here, and all of this stuff, right? It goes through it, and it goes, but here's your doggy. But here's the creepy thing.
That's not creepy at all.
No. But hang on. Isn't that your data that your neighbor's now accessing to find their doggy?
No, I'm accessing my neighbor's data to find my dog.
No, that's what I mean. You as a neighbor, aren't you going, hey, that's my data. I didn't give them permission to look through my data.
I'm sure my data is safe and secured, and it's not being shared with Flock, who, are a very, very reputable company.
Sure, yeah, we won't go into that. But what is it? It's not your data. It's not. This is the thing. When you sign up to these cloud services and these services, it ain't your data anymore. It's like Facebook, Instagram, all the social media stuff. When you post something to them, it's theirs to use as they want. It's still yours, kinda. I mean, you can use it too, but it's theirs.
I can't believe that, Rob. You have to pay a premium to buy the camera, and then you have to pay monthly so
A
that you
subscription, exactly.
certain features. Obviously, you're paying, so all of this stuff has to remain yours, doesn't it?
Well, it's technically yours as well, but they can do what they want with it. I know, I know.
The pearls that I can clutch at times like this.
I know. What's somebody thinking for children? So look, there are ways around this. I'm sure you can opt out of it. I will dig deeper if people are terrified about this, and if Ring starts slapping us with a cease and desist, then we know that we've touched a nerve. But simple fact is, it's not just Ring doing this, man. All these doorbells, all these smart doorbells that are cloud accessed, they can be accessed, and hackers can get in them as well. But here's the thing that I really don't like about this search party feature is anyone can access your data to find their thing. That's no longer the company selling it to these marketing companies and all this sort of stuff, which we kind of already knew they were doing, or law enforcement. This is actually your nosy neighbor. He could just go, hey, I want to see what they were up to last week. I've lost my dog.
Yeah, well, what is the control in place to stop it? Like, who says it has to be your dog? Like, does the object being searched for have to have appeared on your camera multiple times, or can you pick up a picture of a lady you saw jogging and go click?
Yeah, and then track her back to her house.
My dog.
That's a really, really creepy good point. Now, look, I'm not gonna lie. I did not dig too much into this because that was just a bit of a segue.
I'm not that much of a creep. I'm not going to be.
Yeah, actually, hang on. Yeah. Stop trying to find my house. Look, I will dig into that because that's actually really interesting. That's a good point. There must be checks and balances, surely. Sure, there probably isn't. Anyway, that's my segment. So I've gone way over. Mike, yours. Your turn next, please.
Okay, so sticking with the theme of if it's free, it's too good to be true. And if you are not paying, you are the product. This is not just us saying this. The FBI actually came out and warned people back last year. A lot of people are using free PDF conversion tools.
Oh yeah.
So you get a PDF from your insurance company, medical work, your wages, or anything like that, and for whatever reason you want to be able to convert that into Word or any other thing, or you see people putting things into AI to modify and do stuff with. You need to stop doing that because a lot of those sites are quite shady. You put up your information, it gives you out your document. Yay, great, off you go. They have kept a copy of that. Now, I'm not saying every single one of them, but there are too many of them, and it's not worth doing it.
Yeah, and also, I bet you the file size is just that little bit bigger than it should be, right? And what else is in there? It's like the old...
Yeah, some of them are definitely going to piggyback on, but
lovely viruses.
A lot of them, yeah. So we were discussing this before, and we did mention that some of the early YouTube MP3 converters, would put a little present in there.
Yeah. Hey, here's your music, but I'm gonna get everything. Nothing's free.
I'm going to be hacking your Roomba. So I again, if you're handing over all your bank details, if somebody needs you to send them a specific file type and you upload a PDF from your credit card or something like that, they no longer need to hack your computer to get your banking details. You've handed it to them. You up in a bow. So again, there are free alternatives, but you have to go into self-hosting and stuff like that to do it. So things like that, you might want to spend a penny and really do your research.
Yeah, so like Adobe, even Microsoft Word will do it. It's not great, but it does do it. You can convert PDFs to Word documents inside Microsoft Word by just opening the PDF, right-click, open with, and choose Word if you have Microsoft Word. Or just pay Adobe if you really want it done properly. It'll do it really, really well. There's other things out there that do it as well that are paid. But as Mike says, go the reputable, the good companies. Don't throw it into AI. Even the good AI, even the big AI like ChatGPT, Claude, all that sort of stuff, when you put it out in the cloud, it is gone. It's gone burger.
you need to think now. There are some people who are going to get quite excited by this, but what you need to think is, if you are handing over a document to the internet, right? I want you to imagine you've taken a full frontal nude photo of yourself and you're going into the center of town and you're about to pin that up and just leave that on
Look,
a board.
Mike, I did that once, man. Come on, stop bringing it up.
It wasn't your fault. It was cold that day.
Yeah.
But
It's
if
a good point. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
if you are happy for everybody to know, and the thing is, you have to remember, it's not necessarily just some crazed Chinese person on the far side of the world, or American or Russian hacker, to bring everybody in and we all get bombed equally well. But it can be, this information can be used to blackmail you. So if somebody gets
Mm.
access to your details, this can end up on your neighborhood Facebook posts or stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and look, this is happening. There's a load of examples of this. There's been examples of people trying to blackmail OnlyFans and stuff like this. So they recognize them, and it's actually a friend of the friend or something like that. And there's actually an example of this where one lady was posting her photos and against her husband didn't know, and turned out to be her friend's husband saw it and posted it to her, recognized her, and said, okay, I'm going to tell your husband unless you have sex with me. Now,
Mm,
that's a perfect example. Now, obviously, that's an extreme example
mm.
because, she was posting nudes and all that sort of stuff. But it's similar sort of stuff. If someone identifies you and recognizes you, they can blackmail you. Exactly as you're saying. And people like these people might be the nicest person to your face and be your best friend. But if they could have a nasty streak, you just don't know. Now, I'm not saying be paranoid or terrified of your friends and neighbors, but hey, this stuff happens, Mike. That's a huge point. Just be careful what you're sharing, right? Because people these days, we're so used to sharing so much, we kind of don't think about it. We're like, oh, it's a tool. I'm going to use that. But as you said, you get nothing for free, right?
You get nothing for free, and the internet is completely out of your control.
Absolutely. Once it's out there, it is out there. It's gone. If you ever want to see something, there's a site called Way Back When. That is really cool. So even if a website is deleted and destroyed, this thing keeps a backup of it. It's really handy. It's really, really handy if you've accidentally deleted something and didn't realize for months and it's purged. You can actually jump back on Way Back When and pull that data. It's really helpful for that. But it's also
It's
scary.
a good number of them, and it's great when you're reading an article from 20 years ago and they say, and here's the fix, and the link is dead, and you're
Mm,
on that and you can find it. But yeah, uh, stuff that's put up, even like we've seen it with the like of tweets. Someone has put up an inappropriate or
mhm.
accidentally shared a tweet, and they have deleted it within
Yeah.
minutes. Someone has a screenshot of it already.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's out there forever, and people are always watching. Ah,
Yeah. Ah, on your Roomba. Okay, so my turn. I wanted to talk about this, and I've talked about this before, but this is something I'm going to lead into for Mike and me to do a little project for you as our viewers and listeners. So, a lot of people ask me in my profession and stuff like this, how do you get into cybersecurity? How can you do it? And I don't want to spend too much money. I want to dip my toes in this, right? So there's a load of free training out there. Now, obviously, there's a load of paid training, which is fantastic, and courses you can do. But if you want to do just dip your toes into a free one, there's two that come to mind straight away. And this is Mike and I have played on this many a time, and every now and again we just mess around and muck around. Is Try Hack Me and Hack the Box. Now these are free. You can pay. Obviously, the more you pay, the better the service you get from them and the resources. But they have a lot of free stuff that is fantastic. So Try Hack Me and Hack the Box. Great things for real world hacking. If you're interested in hacking, okay, because that's what they are. I mean, it's in the name. Hack the box and try hack me. Pretty obvious. But if you're more interested in doing like the qualifications or the theory or something like that, MIT, the actual MIT, in the States, they're big ass MIT. They offer a load of free degrees, not just in cybersecurity and IT, for loads of stuff, loads and loads of courses for free. Okay, if you want to get a certification from it, you pay a little bit to do an exam and you get the lovely certificate, but it's not expensive. But if you just want to know about this, MIT is fantastic for that. Then you've got Microsoft, you've got AWS, and here's a new one. Oh, it's not new, but here's one I found that I didn't know about, and I'm going to start digging into it. Is IBM Skills Build. They have a load of free cybersecurity training now. So that's my thing. And what my suggestion here is that Mike and I, we pick Try Hack Me and Hack the Box, and one of us chooses Try Hack Me, the other one chooses Hack the Box, and we have at it. We have at it for the next fortnight. We come up with some cool videos to show you guys, and then we discuss which is better, in our opinion. Like which one would work better for you as a complete noob or an experienced person and playing for free. What do you think, Mike?
I like everything up to the part where we're going head to head. Listeners, you need to know that Rob is streets ahead of me when it comes to hacking and penetration testing and all that kind of.
No, man, I don't know anything.
No, he's a lot ahead of me. No, before we just move on, I just want to mention two other sites. Especially people who are thinking of getting into the like of pen testing or cybersecurity. You you need to know Linux.
You do.
There's no real choice. A site I came across looking this stuff up. There's EDX, so Education X. I don't know, edx dot org. That will teach you Linux. Now, you have to pay to use the kind of knowledge base, the knowledge check, sorry, and to get certification. But it's certainly good for getting you, entry level experience. The only problem is every time you click to go to the next lesson, it goes, "Are you sure you don't want to pay? You should pay. I like paying," but it's free. Now, again, some stuff is free and beneficial. Don't give them any information.
Yeah, exactly.
Although the other one, right. So if you're an absolute noob, if you've never done anything, go and learn your Linux first. But then you can also go to Kali. Have the pen, I believe it's the pen 001. They basically have an entry level course that is free, and it will teach you about using Kali. For those of you who don't know what it is, Kali is both an operating system, it's the Kali Linux, and it also has a massive amount of tools for penetration testers. Don't use it for nefarious, and only do it on networks that you own and control.
And have permission to do it on.
Yes. I'm not your legal counsel. Do whatever the hell you want.
No, don't.
Don't call.
Yeah.
Don't
Look,
call.
yeah. Kali's fantastic, and as you go through this, there's another one called Parrot. They're similar, but Kali is the gold standard, I suppose. It's used by
gold
most.
standard, and it's what you're going to find the most information on.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. It is a steep learning curve. To Mike's point about learning Linux, yeah, I would agree. You do need to know Linux, but with Hack the Box, with the walkthroughs and stuff, you can get by, and you will have, after a while, you'll start to understand. So, in my opinion, yes, yeah, having a knowledge of Linux is huge, and my God, it's going to make your life so much easier. But if you don't, you just want to start playing straight away, you can. Like Hack the Box and Try Hack Me, they have what's called walkthroughs where it's do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Now you're not going to learn as much doing that, but because you're not doing it yourself, but you will. To begin with, I would highly recommend that. But we'll touch on this anyway when we play with these things.
Don't just read one walkthrough, because some of the walkthroughs are, I clicked here, I put this in, I did this, I got the answer. They don't tell you anything, but some people are almost narrative in how well they write it up. Like they'll say, "I saw this. The reason this piqued my interest is," and again, don't think that you just need to know. You don't just need to know Linux, but like I say, you really should, because most of the tools are written in Linux. But if you're an application or a web,
SQL injection is going to be your friend.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need it for that. But again, like I say, most of the tools will run on Linux. Now, if you're a web developer, you might not know anything about the OS that you're writing on, so you don't need to know how to install Mac or Windows, Linux, anything like that. You're using the applications. So for attacks, sorry, not attacks, but for checking that your sites are secure and you're doing your own testing and all that, yes, you could just install something like Kali and use the suite of tools.
Yeah, I think we're going too deep. Look, we'll dive into that when we go into. Well, I'm sorry, bro, but like I want to save something for Try Hack Me and Hack the Box, because when we do these episodes, we can outline this to people. But yeah, okay, so those are cool. edX, Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, MIT, Microsoft, AWS, IBM Skills Board. There is a load out there. YouTube as well. YouTube is your friend, man. These sort of stuff. People are on Twitch doing all this sort of stuff. YouTube, they are teaching, and they teach really, really, really well. Of course, our show, you know.
This is the new gold standard. People, get in on the ground floor right now.
Yeah.
Join our Patreon, our GoFundMe, our kickback.
All these things. Yeah.
You get in here. By the time you're 60, you're going to be a millionaire. That's guaranteed. This guarantee is not a guarantee.
Yeah, Mike does not speak for CyberSense Radio. Okay, so next one, fluff piece. So we are now into our lovely bit, because I decided to run this like the news, right? At the end of the news, I always have this. And now we're on to this where we saved a kitty cat, because everything else is doom and gloom and horrible. And everyone keeps telling me that this show, every time they listen to it, they're like, I feel like I just want to go find the nearest bridge after listening to you. And I'm like, wow, okay, I'm going to have to end this with something nice. So I've decided that Mike and I, we're going to each pick a fluff piece to talk about. So Mike, tell us your fluff piece.
Fluffy fluff. So the puppies are okay.
Yay!
So again, I'm going to keep it nice and short because Rob will cut me off anyway. But yes, we keep on telling you that everybody's being hacked and everything's doom and gloom and bad. But there was a nice takedown. So the DOJ, Europol, and other member states and things took down a leak base, which is a cybercrime site of 142,000 members. Right? There was, at the same time as the actual site being taken down, the hosting, some of the hosting was visited, and so were people's houses and things like that. So the seized website was one of the largest among kind of the standard hacker forums. So there have been multiple arrests. They've managed to get quite a lot of data out of it, and they're working through it to contact people who have been affected by it.
That's awesome. Good. Yay! The system works. So go, Interpol.
System works. Even though they found it out by using the malware we mentioned at the start of this.
Hey, look, that's got to be used for a good purpose, right? So my fluff piece.
Checks and balances.
Exactly. My fluff piece is AI isn't all bad.
Sorry, but yes, it is.
No. So it has been used to find new drugs and combat drug-resistant bacteria. So isn't that cool, right? So, you've probably heard about these superbugs. You go into hospital, you get infected, you're going to die. They have to chop off your arm. That's it, Oh, my God. Well, they're now finding these drug-resistant bacteria. They're throwing in all the data that they've got, which would normally take years and decades to find. It's taking moments. It would be very expensive for them to do it. Drug companies don't want to do it because there's not enough, reward. So why would they spend the money, right? They are, after all, a profit-driven company, so that's what they want. So they're able to throw this data into AI and say, hey, can you come up with ways with what we've got of fighting this drug resistant? And it's working. It is finding methods to fight this drug resistant bacteria, which is cool. That's wicked. I mean, I, for one, am really excited because this like spot here is this. But they're also working on ways to stop Parkinson's disease. I mean, come on. That's terrifying. You're literally a prisoner in your own body, right? And they are getting there. So the way it's working at the moment is they're throwing in large amounts of data that they've collected over decades. And this would take them decades to sift through and try and figure out. But instead, it's taking minutes or moments with AI. It's hunting through it, and they're training it to what to look for. And they are finding ways of slowing down Parkinson's. And their aim is to stop it. They're not going to cure it. Their aim is once you detect it, they're figuring out early detection as well with AI. Once they detect it really early, they can have these drugs that'll just stop it. Right? Yeah. Now that's huge. That's massive. So it's like, yeah, cool. I've got Parkinson's, but it's manageable. Isn't that cool? Like that, for me, that's pretty good. That's like, yay AI. So yay robots, less spying on my toilet habits and more cures, please.
Can I add in a tiny little, like,
go.
a joiner to that little interesting tidbit that I love? Okay, so out in Japan, right? They will have little stands in, say, the train stations, places like that, selling pastries. And the Japanese people love pastries, so they've
Mhm.
got big table and it's absolutely jam packed with pastries, all different types. But because of a cultural reason, they don't like these pastries being wrapped, so they're just there.
Open, yeah.
There's nowhere to put a barcode or anything like that on the pastry. It's just sitting there. They were finding that people manning the tills were taking too long, kind of going
Uh-huh.
through all the different pages to find, the eclair or whatever. So someone sat down to design a camera that could look at what was presented and it would automatically pick it up. Now, this was quite a challenge. We won't go into that, but it was a coding challenge. But they found out at the end of it that because of how accurate it had to be to figure out the correct pastry and identify it, that this was brilliant at discovering cancer cells
No
and,
way.
and stuff like that. Yeah,
That's really cool. So it's like, yeah, so your croissant or eclair has helped find cancer.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
okay. That I'm gonna go out and buy myself a croissant now, and be like, yeah, I'm curing cancer.
I'm helping cancer. Wait, no, I'm helping rid cancer. Woo!
Yeah, woo! All right, well, look, that is it. That's all the time we have. Thank you very much for listening, as usual, everyone. All 5 listeners out there. Hey,
Hang
look,
on!
yeah, I'm on. Look, thank you very much, everyone. Mike, thanks again. I hope you guys like the new format, because if you don't, tough, this is it. This is the way we're going to go. We will get better. Bear with us, because we're still figuring out the nuances and how the show is going to flow and all that sort of stuff. But hey, this is it. This is us. So big welcome to Mike. Thank you very much, Mike, for your time. Really appreciate it. I know we had issues with getting the timing here and try to figure out when it was going to work around our schedules, but we got it. Yeah.
We got
Woo!
it. We did it. Yay!
Woo! So thanks, everyone. We will see you in a couple of weeks, where we're going to talk about study, unless something really random happens that's crazy that will take over that and we have to talk about that. All right. See you all.
Love you all. Bye-bye!
Curious about the digital world? Want to know how to stay safe online? Tune in to CyberSense, where we explore the latest tech trends and cybersecurity tips.